Hello, my name is Michael and I work in Michael's second-hand bookshop in Ramsgate. Quite often I get asked by people who would like to start reading books where to begin. And I generally recommend that if they can, they begin where they left off. In other words, if the last thing they read was a children's book, to start with a similar children's book. Say, if the last book they had read was Harry Potter, then they could start with something like that. It's difficult. Quite a lot of people who wouldn't in the past have really been able to read, the type of people who sat in the back row at school and didn't really pay attention. But of course, modern technology means that we have almost universal literacy. And then, having used the modern technology, people want to come away from it and find some relaxing way to use this new skill. And that, of course, is a physical book. It's no use reading on a device if you want to get the relaxation of reading, as you have the problems inherent with technology that you can't take the things that technology do to your mind, like very short bursts of concentration, and dump them. So even if the device is a Kindle, it's very often difficult to treat the business of looking at the screen different to the way you would treat the using of your mobile phone. In other words, to take in a few sentences and then dump it very quickly. But of course, you don't want to do this if you're reading a book. Anyway, one series of books that I recommend is Terry Pratchett's Truckers, Diggers and Wings series. They are small children's books with various designs, and in a second-hand bookshop they should be fairly cheap. I think most of ours are going to be a couple of quid, maybe slightly more if they've got the earlier covers that people seem to like on them. So this is a light, humorous fantasy trilogy about gnomes who come from space and ultimately want to get back to space. I won't have a spoiler here, but it's a very good one if you haven't read anything for a very long time, in terms of a fairly long and continuous read, to get the mind in the habit of reading a bit every day. And the trilogy gives you enough distance of reading into the future to get somewhere. What I certainly wouldn't recommend is one of the great classics, and particularly classics in translation, where without experience you may well pick up a bad translation and get into a terrible tangle. Anyway, thank you very much. Just to say that Michael's Bookshop is a general second-hand bookshop. We don't list books on the internet. We don't post books to people. We're only open 4 days a week. We're really only interested in walk-in customers who read books. Thank you very much. Goodbye.